Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. Sorry about that. Little tardy. At least that's what people tell me. I don't trust anyone. Oh. Rumble's not working again. Surprise. Um, I hope everybody's as shocked as I am. Let's see if that works. We didn't play the new statement. Alrighty. So, we got a bunch of stuff to cover tonight. Let's say hello to everybody and we'll get right into it. Dog Mama, hello. Hope you're enjoying the vacay. Bad Daza, what's up, mate? Yes, I was going to be late on top of my grace period. It happens. Yes. What's up, Deez? Hey, Ghostry. Linda. Digger. What's up, Josh Chandler? Jason J. How's it going, buddy? God, you're so old sometimes, Nandor. Just stay up and watch the show. Who needs sleep? That's what I say. That's what, yeah. Anyways. I said I'm going to go past my 5-minute grace period. I was only 10 minutes late, so I was 5 minutes past my 5 minutes. I let you guys know. I'm still not done eating. All right. Wow, I'm really a mess today. Hey, kitty. Figured we'd take a look at the flight board to start off here. Nothing mind blowing. We got a bunch of movement between the United States and Eastern Europe. That's new. What is in Memphis, Tennessee that I don't know about? I try not to, bud. I try. I know this is hard to believe, but I try very hard to be on time. Installation Memphis. I don't know what's actually down there. I was thinking Fort Knox at first. National Security Agency Mid-South Office, located in Millington, Tennessee, just north of Memphis, serves as the Navy Human Resources Center for Excellence. Headquartered on board are NSA Mid-South and Navy Personnel Command, Navy Recruiting Command, the Navy Manpower Analysis Center, as well as the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Finance Center. So the Kingdom of the Netherlands just went to either the NSA or the U.S. Naval Personnel Management Office. Interesting. And like I said, I thought it was Fort Knox at first, but that would have been further north, so they wouldn't have needed to. We got a KC-135 returning from Hawaii. That was just in South Japan not too long ago. When I was looking at the board, and no unusual movement there. We saw quite a bit of buildup in the south part of Japan this morning. This morning American time. This little island right here is Taiwan, which all eyes are on right now. And we have another tanker up on the south part of Japan. So, I mean, that's about as close as you can get to enemy territory. This, of course, is China on this side. It's It's mid-accurate. I'll talk about it in just a second. Hey, Mystic. Hey, Neo. It's the most accurate for transponders on. If they're doing ops, they'll turn off transponders, but we can still see things, even though transponders are off, such as the only reason why you have a KC-135R up is you're refueling fighters, so that will be accompanied by several fighter aircraft. And that's its primary mission. It can also refuel bombers, things of that nature, but so we have to make some inferences, and we have to kind of watch back and forth, because sometimes they will go transponder off, they'll come back, they'll pop back off. So it's an art, knowing what the hell's going on and being able to decipher it. Genitals, hello. I can tell you that there's a lot more up than what's showing, because there are also radars that... Anyways, we have this Malta Heron drone. Malta is a United Nations member. They have an enormous drone fleet that is essentially United States or NATO tech. They just fly over the flag of Malta, because Malta is the Switzerland of this region, the Mediterranean region. I know Switzerland's just shortly up here, but I meant more this region down here. They try and stay neutral, and people are a little less likely to screw with them when it all comes around to it. So I'm going to start with this. I don't know that I agree with all of it. I just want to be able to provide other sides to the story, and I thought this was relatively well done. Or this might be the pro-Israel one. I have two of these, and I can't remember actually which one this is, but so this is a little bit of information about the area that we're fighting in. So we'll play this through and discuss.
Gaza Strip is only 25 miles long and about 5 miles wide. 2 million Palestinians live packed into this tiny space, one of the most densely populated places in the world. Half are children. Many live in refugee camps speckled throughout the besieged territory. A stunning 80% of the population relies on foreign aid. Aptly called an open-air prison, there are only 2 ways to leave the enclosed area: the Erez crossing into Israeli territory, and the Rafah crossing, which goes to Egypt. Both are completely controlled by hostile militaries. What Israel calls a border is actually a heavily militarized perimeter fence comprised of barbed wire, surveillance networks, and lethal no-go zones. If you roam too close to the so-called no-go zone, which extends 300 meters out from the fence, Israeli forces have authorized themselves to shoot to kill. Thousands of unarmed Palestinians have been shot for violating this rule in 2018 alone. The same goes for Gaza's coastline. It is the only place in the world where you can't even flee by boat, as refugees elsewhere often do. Fishermen are restricted to only a few nautical miles from their shore. Straying past that, even by accident, you can be blown out of the water by Israeli warships. A massive seawall on the north and south, currently being extended, boxes them into their small sliver of sea. This violence is compounded by an economic blockade that imposes a chokehold of poverty on Gaza, resulting in one of the highest unemployment rates in the world, according to the World Bank. 70% of the youth are unemployed, with 52% for the general population.
So that's certainly a little bit of information about the conditions in Gaza. I don't think that there's... Hey, what's up, Merfster? I don't think there's anybody that would disagree heavily that it is a flashpoint, always been a flashpoint, and they continue to fight They continue to treat both sides continue to treat each other like entire just garbage. So I'm finding it harder to pick a side because it seems like they're both kind of at fault here. And I of course don't want either. So I'm gonna play Switzerland, and I'm gonna remain neutral until I figure out which way I want to go. I don't think it really matters what my position is, as long as I'm clear that I haven't really taken one, and I want to provide you the most up-to-date information that I possibly can. So, just my kind of thoughts. So we go to the next thing, and the rhetoric's already starting for this. It's a pimple in the eyes of the world. It seems like that. So, yeah, they did move there by force. And I think once you start pushing any group of human beings into desperation like that, you're going to have a bad result. I think it's just inevitable. So, what's up, Froggy? So, here we have the United States politicians again trying to, and this seems to be where my understanding goes and how I kind of pick sides. When you start hearing the rhetoric from people like Nikki Haley or other neocons, other people that just want war and nothing else, you get things like this, and then it kind of guides you to who you think you should support or be sides. Picking sides in foreign wars is what I like to call retarded. Well, I'm glad, Bobby. I'm glad that, because I just don't think there's a side here. I think they're both in really bad spots. There needs to be some kind of resolution. And spoiler alert, I think if I were to, I agree, Jason. If I were to bet one way or the other, I think Israel loses this war. I'm looking at the power buildups. I'm looking at the way that responses are going. And I think that if it were just strictly a war between Israel and Palestine, I think that Israel loses this war. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to unfortunately be affected and probably drawn into this conflict. So, and this is a perfect example of why they want you to, or how they're going to get you to. So we'll listen to Rhino Nikki talk about it. So, I understand Israel is our serious ally in that area, but we can't afford to use access world taxes, putting our fingers everywhere. Yeah, and it truly doesn't concern us. It is a regional conflict that's been going on for a very long time, and they need to figure it out themselves, and then we can bring in peacekeeping missions or things of that nature if we need to. But I don't think direct conflict, we should be involved.
But let's step back, because I want the American people to kind of take this in for a second. Just imagine that here the Israelis woke up and communities were bombarded. Families were murdered. Women and children were taken hostage, dragged through the streets. The elderly were taken. All of this has happened in front of everyone, on top of thousands of rockets that hit Israel. This should be personal for every woman and man in America. Why?
It's not,
because
and it shouldn't be.
When they did this surprise attack, when they took these hostages, when they murdered these families, they were celebrating. And what were they celebrating? They were saying death to Israel, death to America. This is not just an attack on Israel. This is an attack on America, because they hate us just as much. And what we have to understand is This is the reason that we have to unite around making sure our enemies do not hurt our friends. America can never be so arrogant to think we don't need friends, just like we needed them on 9/11. That's why Ukraine needs us when Russia's doing this. That's why Israel needs us when Hamas and Iran are doing this. And I'll say this to Prime Minister Netanyahu, finish them. Finish them. Hamas did this. You know Iran's behind it. Finish them. They should have hell to pay for what they've just done.
Oh, so a war hawk wanted more war. Who saw that coming? Who had that on their bingo card? Because I sure as hell did. This is the problem. So, just clicked off a live stream where the guest was saying that the videos on social media are unconfirmed, so there's no both sides to this. Videos of Hamas gunning down civilians. Wow. How you doing, buddy? So here is, I want to go from one leader. This is strictly for my buddy. Yeah, let's go to war with Iran. And that's what they want. That's what it's building up to. We'll get to that. Again, not trying to, but I have a structure, people. I have a structure. This is an attack on America. Sticks that out the window. Just crickets. Where are they? Exactly. Yeah, we'll get to some of the other stuff there too. YouTube is ASO, and thank you for posting the link, Shenny. So this is just for my buddy Dazzer, because we leave his country out every once in a while. He asked me what Minister Sunak, I think he's prime minister. This is what his public statement was, Daz.
The scenes that we've seen in Israel over the past 36 hours are truly horrifying. I want to express my absolute solidarity for the people of Israel. Now is not a time for equivocation, and I'm unequivocal. Hamas and the people who support Hamas are fully responsible for this appalling act of terror, for the murder of civilians and for the kidnapping of innocent people, including children. I've just spoken with Prime Minister Netanyahu to assure him of the UK's steadfast support as Israel defends itself against these appalling attacks. We will do everything that we can to help. Terrorism will not prevail.
So that is what your government officially has said about it, Dazzer. Not surprising, falling in line with the rest of the world powers, or former world powers, depending on what you think. Generally wanted that war so bad, according to Trump and the other members of the cabinet, it would have been much more messy than people realize. Yeah, and we still might be heading there. So, isn't that Sadiq Khan? If I'm not correct, please correct me. I haven't seen anything officially, but he doesn't. I know he jumps in on everything like every other politician, but he doesn't control foreign policy, so I don't know. I get what you're saying, Red, but I don't know that he's terribly relevant to what the hell's going on right now. So try not to give him any stage if we don't have to. So here's BB this morning. This is on his own Twitter. So this is where he was at this morning. It is not in English, so it will have subtitles. They move kind of quick. I apologize. Well, actually, I could probably slow it down, can't I? We'll try 0.75 and see if that helps us, because he talked extremely quickly the other night. So, no, I don't want that. I don't like that. So we'll see if we can catch up.
מהבוקר מדינת ישראל נמצאת במלחמה. היעד הראשון שלנו הוא קודם כל לתאר את השטח מכוחות האויב שחדרו פנימה ולהשיב את הביטחון והשקט ליישובים שהותקפו. היעד השני במקביל הוא לגבות מחיר עצום מהאויב גם ברצועת עזה. היעד השלישי הוא לבצר זירות אחרות כדי שאיש לא יטעה ויעשה את הטעות להצטרף למלחמה הזאת. אנחנו במלחמה צריך לשמור על קור רוח. אני קורא לכל אזרחי ישראל להתאחד כדי להשיג את היעד העליון שלנו, ניצחון במלחמה.
All right, so we'll play that one more time, and I'll try and narrate. So I'll just mute him, and I will read it for those who are not on a computer. So, yeah, it's kind of your default position. Since this morning, the state of Israel has been at war. Our first objective is to clear out the hostile forces that infiltrated our territory and to restore the security and quiet to the communities that have been attacked. The second objective, at the same time, is to exact immense price from the enemy within the Gaza Strip as well. The third objective is to reinforce other fronts so that nobody should mistakenly join this war. We are at war. In war, one needs to be level-headed. I call on all the citizens of Israel to unite in order to achieve our highest goal, victory in the war. So that is his brief statements at a summit of leaders, or a summit of military leaders, I assume. So that's kind of the pulse around the political leadership, our ruling class that we all need to be so subservient to. So, you know, it is what it is. They really like the word war. Yes. Yes, they do. So this broke a couple hours ago. And there are more in-depth articles about it, but it's really not necessary. The U.S. military moves in an aircraft carrier. It's an entire carrier strike group, so we have some destroyers, some battleships, probably some subs, carrying near Israel to show Washington's support. The U.S. enters the show. Now, there was some consternation on, is this just a show of force? Are we actively getting involved? What is our game plan? What is our what do we do from here? It's kind of the thing, because now we're in the area, so we're there. So what's the next move from the United States? The carrier also has a full array of aircraft, different strike and fighter aircraft. So it could be very interesting moving forward. Ahead of the high holiday, so here's a report that came out before, because we're going to kind of go back. This was supposed to be a surprise attack. I don't know if it's a surprise as we're starting to see now, if you were paying attention. So ahead of the high holidays, Israel issues warning to travelers of Ukrainian kidnapping threats. National Security Council says Hamas and Islamic Jihad is seeking to carry out kidnappings within Israeli territory. So, I didn't share that one. My apologies. Well, that's what I'm wondering. And I'm also wondering, how you doing, Beers? Hope you're doing well, buddy. I'm also wondering what kind of, and this isn't a rhetoric statement, it's how is this going to be used against us? Because what kind of information and what kind of declarations can we make without Congress? I know the president will declare war, will send aid, will declare it a police action or a military action. We'll never use the word war, but The BLT is within the carrier group? Okay. Damn, okay. So how does... Because technically we don't have a Speaker of the House, so we cannot declare war in Congress at the current time. Again, I understand that's just going to be a political football. It's going to be rhetoric. We're gonna hear back and forth from a ton of people. Just how does that play out, and what do we lose because of it? Like, what is the next step be for us because of it? And so this is a post from 45 days ago from this reporter, Mr. Yingst. We are preparing for all-out war. Deputy head of Hamas tells Lebanon's pro-Hezbollah Al-Madin network. So again, we have televised interviews of people saying that the war is going to break out, like that they have intentions of carrying out military action. So is this really? That's the question I'm asking right now. Was this really that far off where they're like, nope, we're not gonna, it was a intelligence failure, because it's not seeming like it. It's seeming like it's pretty ridiculous. So, sorry, I'm listening. That one could be fun. We could listen to that one in just a moment here. So how do we respond? What happens? So, because more is coming from the United States, more is coming from trying to gain favor and gain an advantage because of the situation, which I think is disgusting. There's a zero shot for war declaration. Biden won one on this record, as bad as it is already. Yeah. I don't think he'd have a choice, though. I think if it goes the continuous direction that it seems to be going, I don't think we have much of a chance. So, I said this would have to be put down in that, 12, 18, 24 hours. And completely eliminated, and that hasn't happened, and we're coming up on... So full disclosure, it's felt like 5 days because I've been looking at so much of this. But I know I think it's only been like 24 hours. So yeah, and again, there hasn't been a whole lot going on. So hey, Manny. No, the U.S. get involved. Very possible if Lebanon and others are involved, they would use the destabilization argument. Well, I think we have the indication that they're already involved. If they're sending carrier groups, they're sending assets. We've seen on radar all day today that they've been flying in C-17, C-130s. So they're already involved. Just will they come out and say, we're going to get involved? I think that's the key question right now. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We saw more of that today. We saw, actually, let me bring that one up too. We saw some pretty ridiculous, there we go. Oh, you're not going to let me pull that up? I don't want to take the chance to show my chats with this individual, because that could be bad. But so here's another one where obviously a transport truck was damaging a tank, and we saw those trucks moving out the other day. I don't know if it was hit by an improvised IED or if it was, again, a drone or an attack, but something caused pretty significant damage to some military and to some transport vehicles. So, true. Jewish people invented cultural Marxism. It's the woke globalist authoritarianism, the great threat to humanity. Every modern problem has a Jewish face behind us. That's why they say every single time. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. For my sake, to not get completely destroyed and yeeted, no comment. They are. They're their own issue. So, certainly. Excuse me. So here is President Donald Trump with his input.
You got a $50 million airplane. You got a $29 million gorgeous helicopter. We had every type of helicopter. Many of them brand new, literally out of the box. $70 million planes. You mean you think it's cheaper to leave it there so they can have it than it is to fill it up with a half a tank of gas and fly it into Pakistan or fly it back to our country? You think, yes, sir, we think it's cheaper, sir. That's when I realized he was a fucking idiot.
I'm sorry.
And that was about General Milley, Mark Milley. So, love it. Saw Biden is having a barbecue today at the White House. He's not in control of anything. Yes, I am. I should be. Hopefully. It was giving me issues earlier. Yes, I am. Here too, from Ghostery over on Rumble. Exactly. That man isn't in charge anymore. He's not in charge. Like, anybody who thought he was is sadly mistaken. He's not in charge. But I want everybody to know that all is right and all is well. And I don't think he ever was, Mandy. But we can unequivocally say now that he's not. This is one of the most incredible situations that my generation's maybe ever been in, and we have an absence of leadership that's disgusting. But all the problems are solved. All the individuals that were killed and raped and so on and so forth, because now it doesn't matter, because now we have the Empire State Building has been illuminated in Israel flag colors. The Empire State Building, located in Midtown Manhattan, New York, has been illuminated in blue and white of the colors of Israel's flag. Excuse me. The display of support came after the devastating attacks that are currently taking place. So far, over 250 Israelis have been killed. The number continues to rise, with 1,600 wounded as today. I think those numbers are significantly down from truth, just based on what I've been seeing. Many civilians and soldiers have been kidnapped or are being held hostage in Gaza as heavy fighting and bombing still continues. Well, exactly. There are no more mean tweets, so we're good. We're good. So. No, you're totally fine, Rain. And, I mean, I've always been clear, say what the hell you want. Just some things I may refrain from, but I think you get what I'm saying. Oh yeah, far more. So I wanted to get to a couple of the non-gruesome images of things that have been taking place in the region. So we have Palestinian fighters were given strict orders to respect churches and monasteries. Israel responded to the attacks, bombing a mosque in Gaza. They leveled that motherfucker.
What do you need?
So if you look into the community notes, and I don't want to get too far into this, because I don't want to show any gruesome detail. But if you look into the community notes and some of the information about this mosque, it was indeed being used as a base of military operations for the Palestinians. So they're not blameless. They're not, they're not without fault. They're not without fault. Holy shit. And now you're seeing, and obviously I can't show this. I can explain what's going on in some detail. There are allegedly some Palestinian individuals. They're murdered, thrown in a ditch, and Israeli soldiers are urinating on their bodies, and a gentleman is kicking them. I again don't know, just trying to explain what I'm seeing. Obviously can't and wouldn't show that, but if that's happening, I condone it, just like I condone the other side doing the same damn thing. So I think I don't think that's okay on either side. So you have seen that video? Okay. Yeah, and we can all have our own opinions about this. I agree. I think so too. So. Don't believe that? Okay. Yeah, and like I said, there's a ton coming in. I'm trying to parse through and get the most relevant information, but sometimes I fuck up too. So, blame cheese. It's all cheese's fault, is what I meant to say. So let's go back over to this individual, Trey Yingst. He's been a pretty rock solid source of shit. Maybe back at the ranch, China is invading America. Yeah. Oh, the article statement. Yeah. Okay. So, 4 hours ago, direct hit on Ashkelon, medics reporting, and new Hamas says they're targeting Ben Gurion Airport with rocket sirens sounding outside of Tel Aviv. And then we have various videos of, different fighting in the streets. And, I did not want to click on that. But he's been relatively silent. I know he has to get some sleep at some point, but Israel continues to strike near Gaza at this hour. Explosions in the distance, fighter jets overhead. And that was his last post about a half an hour ago. So that's something that's certainly going on there. Let's go. Here we go. So, breaking: Hamas announces they're targeting the Israel International Airport with 150 rockets. There are 2 large Polish military planes currently landing in the airport. Any rockets hitting those planes could lead to an international incident. Well, if you're going, here's my thought on that, ladies and gentlemen. If you are willingly flying into an active war zone, shit's kind of on you. So, video below shows the Israeli Iron Dome intercepting rockets from Gaza. So, and we did indeed see those planes on flight radar. I believe they got away safely. I can check because I think they're over the Black Sea. Yes, there's one. and there is 2. So it appears they got out safe. So nothing to worry about there. But if you're going to land in an active war zone, that's kind of on you. He's in Discord, bud. Camp Homo. I'm getting there, Jason. Relax. So I guess the one thing that's good to come out of this is that the rocket attacks seem to be slowing down. That could be a result of many different things. Maybe they're running out of resources. Maybe it's taking time to reload, or, it could be several other things. But I think it's an interesting dynamic because of things. So I thought this was interesting. Yeah, they're getting their money's worth right now. I'm starting. If I had to give you a 51% today, I think Israel loses this war. And I feel that just looking at it operationally, we see Hezbollah starting to move in the north side from Lebanon. We know that there are some major powers, Iran and Russia, behind this. I think Israel loses, and I don't know that we have the appetite to back them up. So, on September 19th, Biden spokesman John Kirby justified $6 billion for Iran by ensuring us there would be consequences should the Iranian regime support terror. If Iran decides to increase their support for terrorist activity, we're going to be ready to hold them accountable. We're going to be ready to deter that activity. 3 weeks later, Iran has done exactly that. Now, what Biden administration? So we'll listen to Kirby, who's an idiot, but we'll listen to what he has to say.
The sort of counter argument is, when you're talking about $6 billion, is that even though there are, sort of rules as to how that money can be used, you spend money on maybe food aid for your people, then that gives you extra money to spend elsewhere.
So here's a couple of things I want to make sure everybody understands. You're right. This money can only be used for humanitarian purposes. And the Iranian regime never gets their hands on it. But it's not like they're going to ask for a withdrawal of all $6 billion at once. We would never approve that. So the money will get parceled out over the course of years here. It's not like they're going to have some big windfall of cash that they can now apply somewhere else. Number two, it's, as I said earlier in my answer, we are still focused on putting pressure on them, holding Iran accountable for all their activities, whether it's supporting Russia's war in Ukraine, supporting terrorist networks, attacking maritime ships in the Gulf and in the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to continue to make sure we have the means, the tools, both military and economic, to hold them accountable. So if, in fact, they decide to increase their support for terrorist activities or increase their maritime attacks in the Gulf, we're going to be ready to counter that. We're going to be ready to hold them accountable. We're going to be ready to try to deter that activity.
And so what is the U.S. doing to...
So we know that all that's bullshit. We know all that was bullshit from the beginning. The Biden administration's not going to do anything. It's rhetoric, and the likelihood is they'll probably just fold. So, like they have so many times, and like they will so many more. So, I think it's a dangerous game to be playing right now. So, right. So, sorry, I'm just previewing this video so I can make sure we don't get anything that we don't want, because I really like this guy's coverage too. And if you're looking for somebody that seems to be on top of things, this OSINT Defender on Twitter, formerly X, has been pretty damn good. in my opinion. Right. Actually, before we get to him, we're going to get to the other one. So remember Hezbollah sitting on, let's get rid of this guy, sitting on a stock of anti-ship missiles. They scored a hit on the SAR 5 class corvette off Lebanon 17 years ago. Their capabilities have evolved significantly since then, thanks to Iran. They also have many types of loitering munitions that have been used against ships. The U.S. Navy will not be operating in an uncontested environment if Hezbollah joins the conflict. The carrier strike group is the most defended piece of territory on the planet, but non-state actors with these weapons have been proven to be a threat. See the Houthis and activities around the southern end of the Red Sea. Breaking: Democratic Senator Cory Booker sought refuge in a bomb shelter as Hamas rockets began hitting Israel. He's been able to escape, is now safe, just providing an update. Wow. Damn. I'd take Shapiro's sister, just for the record. Yep. Mm-hmm. It happens. I often lose the ability to speak about halfway through, so. Alright, buddy. Enjoy your dinner. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So, alright, so this ISINT defender gentleman. Another war with Hezbollah, which is now seeming more and more likely, will be extremely costly for Israel, even without direct support from Iran. However, it's likely better for Israel to deal with Hezbollah now, when they're already on a war footing, while beginning to activate the reserve forces and deploy them towards the border, and instead of later, when they would be unprepared for such a conflict. Like I said, this guy's been at it, so the death toll for Americans, this is where it directly affects us. Death toll for Americans who were killed during the recent Hamas attack in Israel is now increased to 4, with U.S. officials stating that they expect the number to continue to rise in the coming days and week ahead. Motorboat, Ben Shapiro's sister? Yep. The Israeli Air Force appears to have struck yet another Hamas weapons depot in Gaza. So we have that. Excuse me. Nearly 48 hours after the approximately 1,000 Hamas militants crossed the armistice line and attacked Israel, fighting is ongoing. So this is just a map of kind of the location and region that we're looking at. This is Gaza, this green, or the Gaza Strip. All this blue is Israel. Then you have Golan Heights, which is this purple area. You have the West Bank, which is somewhere in here. Jerusalem is right here, kind of in the middle, this little city. There's one more. So, two more. According to the Israeli Defense Force, at least 100,000 reservists have so far reported for active duty, with hundreds of thousands of additional reservists available to be called up if the need arises. She said it doesn't count. They're not Americans. Oh, no, cheese. Cheese, the U.S. Air Force, or shit. Not cheese. The U.S. Air Force will reportedly be deploying an additional 20 to 25 F-15 and F-35 multi-role fighter jets to the Middle East over the coming days, with the objective of this deployment being to prevent war in Israel from spreading into the remainder of the Middle East, while also acting as a deterrent against any kind of Iranian interference or aggression. This is where it's going to get messy, because somebody's going to shoot down an American plane that's not over Israeli or any kind of American territory, and then the shit really hits the fan. So, and that source comes from CNN, the Communist News Network. And here is here's that other part of it. According to the satellite photos, Carrier Strike Group 12, led by the USS Gerald Ford CVN-78, is passing the island of Sardinia and heading towards southeast towards the eastern Mediterranean and Israel. So that's our Carrier Strike Group. There it is, USS Gerald Ford. Yeah, or we accidentally... Oh shit, that moved quick. It's cool. Something the 4th of July for us, just a little late. Yep. Hey, what's up, Bradley? How you doing, buddy? Not to tease, he's subtly stating in German faction.
99999.
Well, I checked the weather, and it's clear there's no rain in the area, so the F-35 should be able to fly there. It will. I believe it will. No, but like the other day over Arizona, they'll probably leave the damn things on transponders, and that's what will get them shot down. So they can find it when it goes down. So that's our carrier. So that's where we're looking at them. I actually don't know where the hell any of this is. Palma. Oh, they're already there. I thought they were a little bit further out than that. Damn. So we're talking about... So this map's just a little bit easier to navigate. So we're talking about this area right here. This kind of, circle square. Damn it, Ghost Street, this is not the time for beefcakes. I know. Still think this is to get the U.S. involved here, then Ukraine, and then Taiwan, North Korea going for South Korea. I tend to agree. I don't think I've reported on this publicly yet, but allegedly warships have surrounded Taiwan from China. Also, allegedly, they have shut down the airspace around Taiwan. Unconfirmed, but seems to be accurate. And like I said, we're moving a lot of assets into southern Japan and the northern Philippines. So, at least. Yep, at least. Hey, Cheesy. Nope, big submarines filled with seamen. Some big military jets coming in. Yeah. So that's where these carriers are, and so that's Israel. So they're reasonably in strike range from there. It might be a little out of range, but rumored that Israel will try and USS Liberty, one of the ships, to instigate a war with Iran and can force boots on the ground in Israel. I could see that happening. Bradley's my snack. Oh, there's a Polish bird flying out of there, Ken. All right, so here's just a secondary source on the additional fighters going into the region. So we have U.S. Air Force reportedly deploying an additional 20-25 multi-role fighter jets to the Middle East over the coming days. Oh, damn it. Oh, he clicked on it. So, same source. They just show pretty pictures of jets. All right. So, that brings us to a couple different things. One, we're going to start with, obviously, given the location, given the tension, given the prophecy, as some might say, he's having a barbecue today. He's having a barbecue. Yep. Oh yeah, we are dramatically reducing our capabilities. So, all right. So here is thousands of Palestinians have gathered at Masjid al-Aqsa, where they claim a third Temple of Solomon is going to be built. So, So, apparently there's a heavy religious aspect to it. If, yes, the roof is on fire. If we can get any information on, actually, I can send him a message right now. I'd love to sit down with a nice gentleman that I know that knows a hell of a lot. Hang on. A gentleman that knows quite a bit about this kind of thing. And I'm going to actually send him a message right now. We all know I can't type and talk. So Israeli conflict and the biblical implications. And that's my buddy Dance Biker Dance. So we'll send him a message, see if he responds to me anytime. But I think that would be cool to get in on, because I am incredibly ignorant when it comes to biblical prophecy and how this all fits in. But I think that it would be interesting to see that perspective as well. We're chanting our Sky Ferry is bigger than your Sky Ferry. I know. No, it's Israel is really real. So here's the other part of this. And oh no, not the potato meaty showing up. I'm doing just fine. Shut up. So, anyways, there seems to be some consideration and some worry coming in that we know that in addition to a significant number of migrants that have recently came across our southern border, which is now wide open, I wouldn't say I'm normal, but I appreciate the vote of confidence that I'm normal. So, oh, good. I can't. I just can't. So we know that there's been an influx of a lot of undocumented people from all over the world that we don't know. Beyond that, we know that there are a lot of how do I say this without getting canceled? Muslim. Can we go Muslim? Muslim individuals that live in the United States, and most of them are great, peaceful people. But we definitely have some that carry some animosity towards the West and towards the United States. We're we're starting to see this break out all across the country, because we also have a big Jewish population. So we have a lot of Israeli individuals, and we have a lot of Palestinian individuals, or different Muslim individuals that would be involved in a conflict such as this. So this is this afternoon in New York City.
Early morning on Saturday, October 7th, our resistance stormed illegal settlements and paraglided across colonial borders.
Definitely a Fed.
Into the largest military base around Gaza, Kerem Abu Salim.
All right.
In this operation, Al-Aqsa Flood, the resistance fires more than 5,000 rockets and reaching Tel Aviv. Early morning.
So there's a celebration of what was taking place by the Palestinian side. We know that the more that you push, the more that you kind of prod with this kind of thing, you're going to get clashes and things breaking out around here. So this is the other side of it, and I believe there's some pro-Palestinian things in here as well, but I think this is mostly the Israeli side of it. Also New York City.
Shame on you! 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 Shame on.
Nope, that was just the Israeli one. Sorry. So, the more protest and counter-protest, we know that those can get out of hand. Things like that can get really nasty really quickly. So that's one of the things. If you're in a big city or close to a big city, like some asshole I know, if you live in or around Dearborn, Michigan, I do, I would pack and move immediately. I'm not going to, but I'll buy more ammunition. You'll thank me later. For those who don't know, the largest Arab population outside of the Middle East is in Dearborn, Michigan, just west of Detroit, Michigan. They have a significant amount of factions. There are Sharia police and Sharia patrols and things of that nature here in Dearborn, Michigan. Everything is halal. Everything is written in Arabic. Not right now, but maybe if this all calms down, maybe I'll take a drive and show you guys the lovely Dearborn, Michigan. So, yeah, it's interesting for sure. So, but we can probably see more of those types of things that are potentially going to happen, and more of those tensions boiling over and taking place to where these people migrated to, taking the problems from where they migrated from. There's also been a significant presence up in the Pacific Northwest of clashes between protesters from Israel and Palestine. To be realistic, we have a ton of people from both sides. So Washington State is one of them. So here's another. Well, we'll go to this video first. So this is Washington State. Huh. Okay. That's good dance music either way. But no, so those of you not from the States, Washington's way on the West Coast, Pacific Northwest. And New York is on the far East Coast. So it's literally coast to coast in the United States. I don't have that one, but if you want to send it to me, certainly. I'll play it. All right, buddy. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. So this is another video. Again, just to be clear, I'm not pro anybody, but this is another one that said that this might have been the provocation for the original attack. So certainly a fact.
النكبة الثانية عن طريق هنا تقول النكبة الثانية بخنف لي كي تقول انت ودينك مسخرة ومسخرة عربي دون عربي بكيفك ما بكسب عربي ببنتنا عربي بين الشباب عربي ببنتنا شو يا ربي ما ديك لو دبرت يا جدع يا ده הבית שלנו. באים עליי, בית שלנו. מוות לערבי, מוות לערבי, מוות לערבי,
So obviously, those are pretty terrible things, and thank you for that, bud. The Nakba, which means catastrophe in Arabic, refers to the mass displacement and dispossession of Palestinians during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. So like I said, there's a bunch of blame to go around here. I don't think either have wait, what? I don't think either have the moral high ground here. I think both of them have done some pretty shady shit, if we're going to be honest. Yeah, let's look for it. I was not. So several airlines, including Air Canada, have now joined to cancel flights into Tel Aviv. So many commercial airlines are no longer flying into Tel Aviv. Oh, suck my ass. Sorry. Exactly. Zelensky says at least 2 Ukrainians were killed in attacks on Israel. Can that fucker just go away? Like, no. He's got to put his head in there. Hamas claims to be holding more than 100 hostages. I'm just looking kind of through the headlines from... Well, actually, I can share CNN because they haven't put up anything disgusting recently. Maybe. You can... Are you following me on Twitter? You can send it to me on Twitter or tag me on Twitter, but YouTube doesn't allow people to post links in chat. But I will toss it in. But there's my Twitter, and I have it up. So he certainly is. So yep, somebody else is going to get the attention and the money. Wait a minute, what did I what did I just agree to? Oh, the Olympic thing. Yeah, for sure. So I don't want to believe it. Okay, so this is I like to catch most sides of the story. I do CNN as a source for certain things because you don't get the whole picture in any media outlet. So, but here it is. Zelensky says at least 2 Ukrainians killed on attacks on Israel. His father, blah blah blah. We already know that. Hamas claims to have taken more Israeli hostages Sunday. That's not shocking. They still seem to be running roughshod over the country. U.S. is still seeking to determine Iran's connection to Israeli attack. So we're already trying to start the blame game, trying to build it up in shit that's going on. Of course we would need to. Of course. So. All right. So here is one that was sent in. So here's, I believe this is yours, right? So
Jacob, you know this is not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But
it's easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
No one is allowed to steal it. يا عم.
صغار وسبعة كبار. مش راح نطلع. ايش ما بده يصير زي ما قلت لك احنا مش راح نطلع واذا بدنا نطلع يحمل.
Pausing it so we can transform the content. Also, death in Israel after Hamas attack has passed 700, according to the Defense Force, the Israeli Defense Force, reported by CNN.
يعني نطلع على زي ما بيقولوا يقتلونا بنطلع غير هيك مش رح نطلع.
transformative content. U.S. oil prices are up about 3% higher on Sunday night, more than $85 a barrel. Brent crude is also about 3% higher, trading around $87 a barrel. Fill up your gas tanks, because gas is going to go up, but we knew that already.
Here in Sheikh Jarrah, like many other neighborhoods all across Jerusalem, we are facing the imminent threat of forced displacement at the hands of billionaire-backed settler organizations working in collusion with the Israeli government and a judicial system that's inherent.
So that was a video about Israel and how they're treating Palestinians. Again, I genuinely think that both of them are doing some pretty shitty things. So, oh shit, I meant to do that the other day for him. Hang on. Let me do that while I'm... See, you're trying to get me to type and text and all that shit again. Jacob Castro. Let me know if that worked, Jacob. Over on the Scrumbles. And like I said, I'm willing to look at and understand and digest any information. So if anybody ever wants to send something in and it doesn't violate ScrewTube's terms of service, then I'm all for it. I think more information is better than restricting some. So. CIBK, if the Indians come knocking down and want your homes, right? Hell yeah, I could get a better home because I am Chippewa. So let's go for it. Let's go get it. I mean, I'm okay with that. See? Matt's with me too. God, I would get such a nice house if we could do that. But I like my house now, so. Hang on, now I gotta go back to Rumble. Okay, there we go. Jacob. Homosexual. Yes. Jacob, type something on Rumble. Let me know if you got mad or either. All right. Hell yeah. Exactly. You know it. See, we're good. We can start taking shit. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? Yeah, I'm gonna, let's see, 10:56. So I'm going live in about 45 minutes. So like I said, I'm going to try and keep these to an hour, between 60 and 90 minutes, just for the sake of my sanity and because I don't want to overdo anything. But I will be back in about let's say somewhere between a half an hour and 45 minutes, SpaceX will be doing another Starlink launch. So we'll check that out, watch that live. They are doing a second one. I did not realize at first that I had the incorrect time. So the time listed is the Pacific time, and that makes it like 4 a.m. So I probably will not get to the second one. But definitely this first launch, it's scheduled for 10:56 p.m. Eastern time from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. So I'll go live about 15 minutes, probably 10:45, so 45 minutes, and cover that live commentary on the rocket, explain it as best I can. So I hope to see you all there. Stay safe. I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Hit that like on your way out. It is very much appreciated. Have a good night, everybody.